Welcome to the Chapter 16 lecture on monopolistic competition. Let's start with a quick introduction from the last two chapters. Monopoly and competitive market structures are the two extremes. Perfect competition has many firms selling identical products. Monopoly has one firm selling a unique product. In between these extremes is imperfect competition. An oligopoly is a market structure with only a few sellers that offer similar or identical products. Monopolistic competition is a market structure with many firms selling similar but not identical products. Monopolistic competition has many sellers, product differentiation, and free entry and exit. Examples of goods sold in monopolistically competitive markets are apartments, books, bottled water, clothing, fast food, and nightclubs. Let's compare perfect competition and monopolistic competition. Both market structures have many sellers, free entry and exit, and zero economic profits in the long run. Perfectly competitive markets sell identical products, while monopolistically competitive firms sell differentiated products. Perfectly competitive firms are price takers and have no market power. Monopolistically competitive firms will have some degree of market power. The demand curve for the firm is horizontal for perfect competition, and the demand curve for monopolistic competition is downward sloping. Let's compare monopoly and monopolistic competition. Monopoly only has one seller, while there are many sellers in monopolistic competition. Monopoly does not have free entry and exit due to barriers to entry, while free entry and exit do occur in monopolistic competition. Monopolies can earn positive long-run economic profits. Monopolistically competitive firms cannot. Both types of firms have market power, and both have downward sloping firm demand curves. Monopolies sell a product without any close substitutes, while monopolistically competitive firms sell products with many close substitutes. A monopolistically competitive firm can earn profits in the long run. The firm faces a downward sloping demand curve. At each quantity, marginal revenue is less than price. To maximize profit, the firm should produce a quantity where marginal revenue equals marginal cost. The firm will use the demand curve to set the price. Profit is the difference between price and average total cost multiplied by the quantity being sold. It's shaded in as the tan shaded area on the diagram. A monopolistically competitive firm can also incur losses in the short run. For this firm, price is less than average total cost at the output where marginal revenue equals marginal cost. The best thing for this firm is to minimize its losses. In the short run, monopolistically competitive firms behave very similar to monopoly due to the downward sloping demand curve. In the long run, monopolistically competitive firms behave more like perfectly competitive firms due to free entry and exit that drive economic profit to zero. If profits exist in the short run, new firms will enter the market, taking some demand away from existing firms, causing profits and prices to fall. If losses incur in the short run, some firms will exit the market. The remaining firms will enjoy higher demand and higher prices. Let's look at monopolistically competitive firms' long-run equilibrium on a diagram. Entry and exit occur until price equals average total cost and profit equals zero. Notice that the firm charges a markup of price over marginal cost and does not produce at the minimum of the average total cost curve. Monopolistic competition is less efficient than perfect competition. Monopolistic competition is less efficient than perfect competition. Excess capacity. The monopolistic competitor operates on the downward sloping portion of its average total cost curve, producing less than the cost minimizing output. Under perfect competition, firms produce the quantity that minimizes average total cost. Markup over marginal cost. Under monopolistic competition, price is greater than marginal cost. Under perfect competition, price equals marginal cost. Monopolistically competitive markets do not have all of the desirable welfare properties of perfectly competitive markets. Because price is greater than marginal cost, the market quantity is below the socially efficient quantity. Yet it is not easy for policymakers to fix this problem. Firms already earn zero economic profits, so the government cannot require them to reduce prices. The number of firms in the market may not be optimal due to the external effects from the entry of new firms. The product variety externality is the surplus consumers get from the introduction of new products, but the business stealing externality is the losses incurred by existing firms when new firms enter the market. The inefficiencies of monopolistic competition are subtle and hard to measure. There is no easy way for policymakers to improve the market outcome. In monopolistically competitive industries, product differentiation and market pricing naturally lead to the use of advertising. In general, the more differentiated the products, the more advertising firms buy. Economists disagree about the social value of advertising. Critics of advertising believe that society is wasting the resources it devotes to advertising. Firms advertise to manipulate people's tastes, and advertising impedes competition. It creates the perception that products are more differentiated than they really are, allowing higher markups over marginal cost. Defenders of advertising believe that it provides useful information to buyers. Informed buyers can more easily find and exploit price differences. Therefore, advertising promotes competition and reduces market power. A firm's willingness to spend huge amounts on advertising may signal the quality of its product to customers, regardless of the content of the ad. Ads may convince buyers to try a product once, but the product must be of high quality for people to become repeat buyers. The most expensive ads are not worthwhile unless they lead to repeat buyers. When customers see expensive ads, they think the product must be good if the company is willing to spend so much money on advertising. In many markets, brand name products coexist with generic ones. Firms with brand names usually spend more on advertising and charge higher prices for the products. With advertising, there is a disagreement about the economics of brand names. Critics of brand names believe that brand names cause consumers to perceive differences that do not really exist. Consumers' willingness to pay for brand names is irrational and fostered by advertising. Eliminating government protection of trademarks would reduce the influence of brand names, resulting in lower prices. Defenders of brand names believe that brand names provide information about the quality of the product to consumers. Companies with brand names have incentive to maintain quality and to protect the reputation of their brand names. This is the end of the Chapter 16 lecture on monopolistic competition. If you have any questions about the key concepts from this chapter, please post a question and ask Professor Pakula or send me an email.